America may have had a tough few decades of presidency, but it was not always like this. There have been a total of 45 presidents since their independence from the British Empire. Let us start at the beginning and see for ourselves how we have got to this point. Widely regarded as the father of the country, George Washington was the first ever president of the United States. A mastermind strategist, he is best known for leading the American forces in their War of Independence. George Washington's vice president, John Adams, holds the distinction of being the first president ever to reside in the White House. Maybe what is even more astonishing is the fact that he never owned slaves, despite being a very powerful man. A great thinker and philosopher, John Adams was an early and lifelong abolitionist. Thomas Jefferson, on the other hand, owned a staggering 600 slaves during his lifetime. This was the same man who wrote the Declaration of Independence, which famously states that all men are created equal. A nutty coincidence is that Thomas Jefferson and John Adams both died on the same day, their 50-year Declaration of Independence anniversary. James Madison was America's smallest president ever, standing at 5 feet 4 inches and weighing a whopping 45 kilograms. He was president during the War of 1812, when British forces captured Washington and burned the White House and the Capitol. It would be the last time a major U.S. city was ever captured by enemy forces. James Monroe is famous for his doctrine, which forbids Europe from interfering in all American politics, including those of South American countries. The destined protectors of the two continents have mainly used the doctrine to further their own interests. It has been invoked to justify military interventions in Latin American countries such as Panama, Cuba, and Venezuela. President John Quincy Adams was the first in many things. He was the first son of a U.S. president to be elected himself, the first U.S. president to be photographed, and the first president to be inaugurated wearing trousers instead of knee breeches, setting a new fashion trend for the masses. Andrew Jackson was the first president to be elected from the Democratic Party. He was an avid duelist and participated in many thrilling duels throughout his life. Jackson is best known for the Indian Removal Act of 1830, which led to the forced migration and ethnic cleansing of many Native Americans. Martin Van Buren was the first president to be born after America's independence. He was known for his political skills and was often referred to as the Little Magician because of his ability to manipulate and organize political factions. When William Henry Harrison took office, he delivered what is quite possibly the longest inaugural address on record. This was despite the bitterly cold weather and freezing rain. Shortly after his inauguration, William developed symptoms of pneumonia and died just 32 days after taking office, making his presidency the shortest in U.S. history. The presidency of John Tyler is held in very low esteem among historians. He clashed with his own party, the conservative Whigs, after becoming president. The party eventually expelled him, which caused many conflicts and strained relationships during his service. He did, however, father a staggering 15 children, more than any other U.S. president in history. James K. Polk was a boring president. I mean to the point where he banned liquor from the White House and started working 12-hour shifts. He was straight-laced, somber, and humorless. However, he did increase U.S. territory by provoking Mexico into a war and taking 1/3 of its land. Zachary Taylor was a general and a national hero. He served in the U.S. military for 40 years before becoming president. This meant he had very little political experience and thus faced many challenges navigating politics. He served for only 16 months before dying from a stomach flu. Millard Fillmore demonstrated that, through some confidence, even an uninspiring man could achieve the American dream. That is exactly how the White House's official website describes Fillmore. To be honest, the only thing he is known for is marrying his school teacher, whom he fell in love with at the age of 12. Franklin Pierce orchestrated a daring escape from his boarding school, embarking on a courageous 20-kilometer trek back to his parents. However, upon reaching home, his father forced him to walk right back in the middle of a thunderstorm. According to Franklin, that was a turning point in his childhood and future career. A bachelor for life, James Buchanan is the only president to have never married. He had previously been engaged to a woman named Ann Coleman, but soon after, she called off the wedding over a fight involving other women Mr. James was seeing. She died later that year in what some have ruled as suicide. And this is the end of part 1. Put like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe. Stay tuned for part 2.